Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, after being part of the spiritual journey, now you know that waking up to the truth or spiritual freedom is about letting go of the mind, right? The mind that is creating an inner conflict, the mind that is creating fear, that mind that is making us attached to certain things. And you're trying to let go, right? But are you able to let go? If you're able to let go, then in what sense you're able to let go? Are you able to let go because you're focusing on something else? So your focus is diverted to something else, so you don't have to focus on the things that if creating that conflict. So when you don't have to put yourself there, and you're putting yourself on something else, now you feel free from those things. In that sense, you feel your success in letting go? Or are you truly not affected by, your own mind that is creating a fear and conflict? So in what sense your success in letting go? Most of the time, people's success in letting go is because they're simply focusing on something else, so they don't have to look into the issue that is, there in the first place. So that is not actually letting go. That is just entertaining the mind, entertaining oneself in something else. That is simply, entertaining your ego self rather than dissolving the ego. Dissolving the ego is about looking into the issue and working on the issue in dissolving itself. But if that is not there, then the letting go is not there. We just deny the whole approach of letting go. So, denying is not the way to let go. To let go with ease, one has to, trace the mind backward to figure out the root, and also we have to investigate on the root. The root itself is the reasoning, the meaning, behind holding on to that root. So we have to investigate. When we trace the mind backward to its root and investigate on the deeper reasoning, the attached reasoning, the meaning that we hold on to, when we trace it back, that itself helps us to understand the nature of the mind, and eventually we have to uproot the root. When we understand the nature of the mind and uproot the root, uproot all meanings from our lives, and that's the way to let go. Without understanding the nature of the mind, letting go is impossible. That's why, when things start to resurface again, we get affected by, those things. For example, think one of the scenario in your life that was, a dreadful scenario, a painful scenario, right? Now, when you remember that, aren't you creating that mental drama again? You create a mental narrative. If you invite your past experience, and if the past experience creates inner turmoil in your mind, that means you're not able to let go truly. When you remember things from the past and you're not getting affected by it, then that's the sign that you're able to let go. But you cannot let go of the past by putting the new meaning in your life. Putting the new meaning is simply a layer you're creating, that sealed not to look. We can't do that. We have to remove all the sealed and be okay with nothing. That's the approach to waking up to the truth. So if you have the sealed to not to look onto something, that is simply a resistance to not to look at those things. So we can't do that. So if you're doing that, you have to look into, investigate, why do you have to create that sealed? Why do you have to create that meaning? Not to look to certain things that is creating so much conflict in your life. So that means simply you're focusing on something, not to focus on the conflict that is beneath, you beneath certain layers that you have piled up. So, just imagine if if the layers are out, if you lose the layers, you're back in the same place again. The conflict will rise again. So, not to get affected mind and be able to let go things in your life is by investigating on your mind. Mind is the one thing, right, that is creating all the scenarios. So enlightenment is about dissolving the mind. So we have to investigate on the mind. Tracing the mind backward to its root and eliminating all belief is the way to successful in letting go of the mind. Okay, so that's the process. I hope this video makes sense. Enjoy tracing back your mind and see how far you can trace back in looking, investigating your mind, and see what happens. And trust me, if you're thorough, unbiased in investigating the mind, that attitude, that approach will help you to see the truth eventually. Anyway, take care for now. See you in the next video. Bye.